Welcome to the Super Comic Nerds first comic book review. That's right, you heard me correct. This is an actual comic book review for a comic book channel. Imagine that. Never thought I would see the day. So this book that I'm going to discuss with you today is DC House of Horror. DC House of Horror is a one-shot book that they recently released for Halloween. It contains 8 stories of your favorite DC heroes. Now these stories are not canon to the lore of the DC Rebirth. These are all just short stories, just collected and written and drawn by different people, all into one book for Halloween. So anybody can pick it up. You don't have to read, any other books in order to get what's going on in here. They're really short and sweet, and they're definitely over. I'm going to give you my review right now. It's worth the buy. Trust me. All right. Now the first story. First of all, I'm going to name off the different stories. I'm not going to spoil anything in this review, because I want you to go out and read it yourself, either digitally or getting a hard copy of it. But so the stories in this book contain. There's a Superman story, Wonder Woman, Harley Quinn, Batman, Justice League, Green Arrow, Two-Face, and a Shazam story. I'm going to give you a brief synopsis of every story in this book. Again, not to spoil anything. So they're going to be really brief and really sweet. Okay? So let's get the fuck into it, right? Alright, so the Superman story is a retelling of when Superman first comes to Earth and how it could have been totally different. Alright? The Wonder Woman story is an interesting telling of the Amazons, and also this group of kids that just get together on Halloween night and go through some shenanigans. The Harley Quinn story is talking about, and it's very interesting. It takes place in Arkham Asylum, and pretty much what happens is this one guy who is working there, he kills his wife, and you figure out why. I don't think that's spoiling too much, because you see that in the first panel, so don't worry too much. It's not completely the whole story. Alright, the Batman story is a psychological story going deep into Bruce's mind, and it's very reminiscent of a lot of fan theories that are out there about Batman. And then we go on to the Justice League story. The Justice League story is my favorite, and I'll tell you why it's my favorite, is because Martian Manhunter's in it. Now, Martian Manhunter is a very underrated character, but one of my favorite. They haven't done anything with Martian Manhunter in the recent Rebirth other than a Martian Manhunter versus Marvin the Martian, which I'll put a picture up right now. Alright, so you can see that. I didn't read the story, but I've heard that it's really good and well written. So I'll have to check into that. But I really hope that DC, if you are listening to this at all, if somehow this gets to the main people up there, the board people, whatever, whoever makes the choices, the editorial, you guys should do something with Martian Manhunter. I don't care if it's a 6-issue series, short series, like you're doing right now with Deadman and Ragman, I definitely feel that Martian Manhunter deserves that. And honestly, if I were making the decisions, I'd put Martian Manhunter back into the Justice League. Now, with that being said, I wouldn't take out Cyborg, who, for some of you that don't know, Cyborg in the New 52 took Martian Manhunter's place. I thought it was silly. You can have both. Just put Martian Manhunter in there and keep Cyborg. It's pretty simple, and I think everybody will like it. Let me talk about the Justice League story first before I move on. The Justice League story, pretty much it's about a virus that breaks out here on Earth, and the Justice League have issues trying to contain it and keep it from spreading. The Green Arrow story. This is it's an alright story. I'm gonna say this is one of my least favorite stories. I think. There's in the Green Arrow story, it has Black Canary and Green Arrow. They're both in this story. But the city views Green Arrow differently, and that's all I'm gonna say about that story. With Two-Face, it's another psychological story going into Harvey Dent's mind, and pretty much this is before he becomes Two-Face. And then finally, we have the Shazam story. The Shazam story is about Billy Batson and his struggles with voices. And that's pretty much it. That's all I'm gonna say. If I had to rate this book, I'm going to give it 4 stars out of 5. The reason why I'm not giving it a 5 is I don't know, just because I feel like they could have done more with the Green Arrow story and the Shazam story. I'm gonna say I think they could have done more with those 2 stories, but everything else in this book is really good, and it's worth the asking price of $10. Now keep in mind, all the books in Rebirth right now, except for a few different series that are out there, like I know Mr. Miracle and the DC Metal, they're $4. Okay, but everything else in Rebirth is $3. With that being said, with this being a Halloween special, it's definitely worth the $10, and you guys should read it if you have the chance. Alright, so thanks for listening, guys. Tune in next time for another comic book review. I'm going to try to do these pretty frequently. I know I haven't been doing many videos right now. I just started college, so I've been focusing a lot on that. But I really do want to flesh this channel out. So thank you for those of you that are going to stick around and listen. You know, I've been waiting for me to post something for a while, but this is actually the beginning of the Super Comic Nerd comic book reviews. I don't have another name for it right now, but you know what? That's what we're going with. Alright, bye.